Council for October. Nice to see you all and to have a full house, which is nice. I believe we're being recorded and videoed tonight, so please, just to let everybody know. Has everybody got their pack? There's two here. Everybody got their? Okay. We've got Libby here to scribe for us, as you already have known from. Kate is here as well, she's scribing as well. Malcolm Fox, our RFO, will be here for the financial business. Okay. We've got 15 minutes. Welcome everybody to the open forum. We've got 15 minutes. So would any of the public like to ask any questions, please?
I've not got a question. I would just like to thank Lindsay for what she's done on the food trucks.
Yeah.
It's been a resounding, everybody agrees with it, everybody goes to it, and I just think really she just needs a pat on the back for it, what she's done, what she's gone through to get it, even though we were supposed to have this blanket ban. But I mean, we've come out the other side, and if you see the people that are there waiting to use the van, that says it all that it's needed in the village.
Are you also thanking the resident that's been helping with it?
Oh yes, Kirsty as well been helping out as well. I think she does all the admin side of it and everything.
Thank you very much. Thank
Yep.
you for that acknowledgement. Susan?
No.
No, thank you very much. Anybody else like anything to bring up to us as councillors?
Got an agenda sheet. Have we any to go agenda
There
sheet?
should have been one down there that was forwarded.
Is it possible to get a meeting pack as well?
You will receive a meeting pack after the meeting.
Lovely. I've requested one also. Thank you.
So no more questions from the public. We'll start the meeting proper now. SC 228.23 to receive and accept apologies for absence. I don't know if Khadija, I haven't had any apologies for. Have you, Kate, had anything from Kate? No. She may be a little late. Otherwise, we'll put Khadija down for apologies. FC 229.23 to receive any declarations of interest. Anybody got interest of anything on the agenda, please? Anthony?
Anyone who's a member of the Barham Community Association should be highlighting because of the Christmas light.
Yes, so that's AM, BW, JH. Any other items on the agenda, please?
I could be gone for it, but I've got Farmhouse.
Yes, you'll be gone. Okay. 230.23 to note any dispensations granted, which I will state as none. Report from Chairman. I've just got a brief update for you of a couple of things. The Post Office heard on the 18th, and they say they are now working with their legal advisor to agree a statement which will be sent to the court. He thought this would take a couple of days, but he's now told it will take a couple of weeks. I can see a court date drifting into January, February 24. And he thinks that the Post Office will only get involved if the Postmaster says he is going. Another thing we've had through, and Kate will send it round to all of you, it's about gritting. And if anybody would like to volunteer to do gritting, can they please let Kate know? But I went and cleared the grit box by Hanover, and that is a grit box that absolutely needs to be kept up with salt, and it was a big black bag full of rubbish. People are treating them as rubbish bins. Can you, all in your areas that you've got, check your yellow grit bins? Let Kate know, and we will get in touch with County Council to get them filled up with the salt. But if there's rubbish in them, and you are reluctant to clear them, have a word with the ranger, or have a word with Kate and get clean, or I'll do it. I talked to Sanctuary Buildings, who are doing the social housing. One thing I was fed up with the beeping of the machines going backwards and forwards. But the scheme's going to be handed over to Sanctuary on the 1st of December. So once the people start going into the properties, we should start thinking about S106 monies. but it can take quite a few families to get in there. We've got arcade, we had an Arcadis meeting with Brian Heffernan yesterday, that's on the agenda, and Graham Ellingham is going to give you a brief update of what we talked about. Okay.
Bugsy.
Yes, Jeff.
Do we skip over the?
No, I'm just going to do that, sorry.
Oh, okay.
231.23 to receive reports from county and district councillors. We haven't had any apologies from Edna Murphy, and this is for information only. Yes, Jeff.
I just want to make a comment that Edna put out about the bumps, where it's going to take another year before they even look at it, and then it might be even a more extended time. This is over the A14 on the bridges, and the one on the B, over the B, whatever it is.
1037.
Yeah, that is not a bump. That is dangerous.
I
It's
know.
like a pothole. And for them to put the onus onto the people to claim compensation should there be a problem is not a solution.
Well, I'm dealing with the MP about this. I've got a name, and this person has offered to have a telephone conversation with us. But what I do understand with this is that there is a fault.
Well, there's
a
definitely a
definite
fault.
fault. National Highways and County Council are not, neither of them are admitting to the fault, because then they're to blame. So there is a conflict there.
Yeah, it's been what,
And it's
3
not-
years?
I
and
know,
it's
it's
gonna
not
be
good
another
enough.
2 years.
No,
And
no.
there's gonna be some accidents there.
Is it a question about the district council report?
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, since this report was created, there's been some news articles in regards to the report of things that were redacted and changed. Obviously, I don't want you to comment now, but is it possible you could comment for the next meeting?
Sorry, on what?
Apparently, there were sections of the report that were redacted, but
Report
came out.
on what, sorry?
This report on a 4-day working.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes, it was in the news. It was in the BBC News and all the other articles for the
Yes,
area.
yeah.
Obviously, I don't expect a comment now, but will you be providing a comment for the next meeting on that?
On which part?
Well, there were some comments which they said were redacted, which actually indicated that the scene was not working as well as originally intended.
I think you're referring to the Bennett report
Yes,
and the fact that it was altered
yes,
before it came into the public domain.
correct, yes.
Yes.
Obviously, I don't expect a comment now, but we'll be having a comment for the next meeting.
If you would like one, yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So just go back to the bridge. Is it just the Bar Hill Bridge that is the problem, or are there other bridges on the development that are a problem?
And
Mr.
when
Davis has
you
got-
say development,
Well, kind of all the new bridges that were built down the A14, the new A14. All I'm saying is, kind of, is it the Bar Hill Bridge only that is a problem, or are there
that-
other bridges?
that I don't know, I can't comment.
I went over Swaversey and that's developing a dip as well.
But I can't comment on it.
No, I think it'd just be useful to find
Yeah.
out, because it's whether is it a geographical thing to do with the soil in Bar Hill, or is there a fundamental problem with the bridges? Because if there's a fundamental problem with the bridges, then
It's not the soil. They just keep dumping stuff in and basically settles, whereas
It's-
bridges sitting on concrete
It's
piers.
sand,
Okay,
sand,
thank you
sand
very
compaction.
much. 235.23 finance, I'm going to hand over to our RFO. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 233.23, can we confirm as a correct record the minutes of the meeting held on the 21st of September 23 and the 4th of October 23 and confirm the agendas of the same date? Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Jeff Tamulonis and Joe Hall. Is everybody in agreement with them? Agreed. Thank you very much. Done the clerk's report. So now we're on to finance.
Right, the receipts and payments and reconciliations of the 21st of September. Are there any comments or questions on that whatsoever? If not,
I just want to point out, councillors, that this should have been read beforehand.
Absolutely.
No,
Quite
I
right.
think so.
You're quite right. So is everybody, we will presume everybody's happy? Proposer and seconder, please. Warren and Lindsay Burton.
Right, 235, 23.2, the accounts. Once again, we have had, for want of a better term, my manual accounts, because I'm still trying to get Scribe into some sort of semblance. I'm talking to them about trying to alter things, but at the moment, I cannot amalgamate a balance sheet and a profit and loss account in one piece of paper, which is what I do with the manual figures.
Okay, proposer and seconder, yes,
Just
Jeff?
a question, you put in, there's actually two sheets under that item, and I was just wondering whether it's a duplication now that you put the scribe report in, plus the other one, which is a summary of the same thing. In other words, trying to, so you don't have to do as much work.
I don't have to do as much work because I do it on Scribe, and then I put it over, and as I said at the last meeting, I'm putting it over into these manual accounts, not charging my time for that because it is relatively quick to do that.
Because it does seem, I mean, although it's a summary, it's a duplication of effort.
Yeah, now I'm quite happy purely to produce the Scribe figures, but I think the big challenge with Scribe is the fact that they have income and expenditure and reserves in two separate places.
Yes, they do.
And I cannot get them amalgamated because as far as they're concerned, they're treated, Scribe treat those as two very separate entities. And
Is there any reason why it shouldn't be that way?
No reason whatsoever, as long as you're happy looking at two places to see what we've spent.
I mean, that's why we have a system.
Yeah, and, you know, provided everybody's happy with looking at, as I say, the two different places to see what's spent, then I'm quite happy only to put forward the prescribed figures for your approval.
Could I have a proposer and a seconder for 235.23.2, please? Steve and Lindsay.
235.23.3 is actually incorrect. It's to approve the payments to the 19th of October.
Sorry, what's incorrect about that?
Well, it says receipts and payments and reconciliations on mine.
There is one, the 9th of October for 235.23.3.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm looking at the original draft because I haven't seen the latest one, so you're all right.
Was that stuff, was that put out
electronically?
electronically?
Sorry?
Proposer
Was
and
the
seconder,
payments put
please.
out electronically, or is it?
The payment should be,
I don't recall seeing it on the electronically, it could have
you
been.
won't see it before because I keep it open until the last moment so that we can pay people as promptly as possible. And in fact, I've redrafted this thing 4 times this week because invoices have come in the last couple of days. And I think it only right that rather than make people wait for another 30 days,
I mean, it's in the pack, is what
it's
I'm
in the
saying.
pack, yeah.
But that's something we haven't seen.
Proposer and seconder, please. Brian? Do you want to propose it?
Yeah.
Brian Howard and Jeffrey. Graham Langham.
23.4 is to look at the first draft of proposals for 24-25. Now, you should have what I initially looked at as being best practice, but you've also got another sheet that shows the expenditure inflated by 7.5% and by 10%, and also showing the possible carryover, because obviously you don't know what you're going to spend this year.
This is to get you all thinking. We will be having a preset meeting in November.
Yes, these came out of the Finance and Policy Committee meeting. So these were the ideas that were discussed in the meeting and then brought. So the one at the back with the 6, 7.5 and 10% are to give you an idea of the impact of inflation. They're not to be necessarily what we will increase our council tax by, but obviously people need to be aware that obviously inflation is currently, I think, 6.8 at the top of my head. Which
is 7, so
yes, so obviously, and we didn't raise it by 10% last year, and obviously inflation last year was 10%, so we have to consider that we don't want to give our residents a bill shock with a sudden increase if we don't do smaller incremental increases.
And I did announce at the annual parish meeting that the preset for 24-25 would have to be increased quite substantially because we have got a lot of green works going on and to be carried on.
And an expensive road.
Yes.
Yes, Jeff?
Are we expecting, more grass cutting? Because up to September, or get invoices, we've only spent 11,000 and it was budgeted at 23.
Yeah, I
And
think
next year you budgeted even more. Are we actually spending that?
There is another cut due.
there's at least one more cut
Yeah.
due, and there'll be one in March almost certainly, because he threw one in March last year, which
Yeah, well,
but I still think, and when I revised the figures for other things that have happened very recently, when I revised these figures, I think that will be cut back. But again, it's going out to tender, I don't know what we're going to
Right,
get
yeah.
tendered for. So I've left it, as I say, this initial proposal is best practice, worst scenario, to be brutally honest. I'm hoping that we can save on that, because if you look at the total figure, I don't really think we can put in a precept of £195,000 next year.
Oh, we could.
But we don't want to. So if you can all look at these figures and look at what it's all against,
Yeah.
and just bring your
Wow,
thoughts
it's
to
a
the
massive
precept
increase.
meeting, that would be really helpful. And because
30,000.
we've already done two,
Inflation
and
and
we are doing this in depth, aren't we?
Yes.
Can we have
10,000
one
security support.
conversation, please? Do we need a proposal in a second?
Not for that, no, it's only really for information purposes. And that's me done, because the other bits are all over the time.
Okay. 235.23.5 to approve the clerk assistant's overtime of 24 hours.
I'll
We knew this
propose
was
this.
coming, yeah, we knew this was coming, so can I just have a proposal and a seconder? Anthony Mitchell and Brian Howard. Thank you. All happy with that? And 235.23.6 to approve the RFO's overtime hours, 16 hours. Can I have a proposer and a seconder, please? Graham Ellingham and Lindsay Bladen. Everybody happy with that? Thank you. And to approve a locum clerk for full council meetings, and which is what Libby is here for.
I better propose that one, otherwise you might have a bit of a problem tonight.
And up to 10 hours employment per week at a cost of £35 per hour. This is whether we might need it or not, and it gives us the flexibility of, employing somebody. Could I have a proposal in a second?
So we'd only get charged if the hours were spent?
Yes,
Okay.
but they're all add-ons as well. GH and GE. Thank you very much. Everybody in favour?
Oh,
There's nothing to report on planning.
well, that's the easiest one ever.
Nothing.
236.23 planning, which, and Jeff is our planning councillor, and there is nothing to report on planning.
Nothing's coming news.
237.23 minutes of Environment and Immunities Committee. Our chair for that committee is not here.
Who's the vice chair?
Is it you, sir? Can we have, anybody got anything, would like to propose the minutes? Proposer and a seconder, please.
I'll propose them.
And that means we're accepting all resolutions that were made in there. Just so that people know that anything that's in that report is resolved too. If we vote for the minutes, we definitely approve those wholesale.
Well, to be honest, everything in here is resolved. Nothing in here is a recommendation.
Yeah.
I read everything in the paper.
Well, it's also the finance.
238.23, the minutes of the Finance and Policy Committee
That'll be me.
have received the draft minutes of the 26th of September 2023 and 17th of October 2023.
Righto, so we have two sets of minutes. We've had two meetings since then. The first one, essentially you've received the information in regards to the precept for the next year. Thank you, Malcolm, for doing that. On the agenda of the 26th. I can't mention anything on the excluded section. And on the meeting of the 17th of October, again, there was a resolved, the only thing of interest I would say is the advertising policy, which is 065.23, and that was a resolution on that. But again, technically they're resolutions, so they're not something that needs to go back. Other than that, I propose to approve.
Can I just ask, why are you approving the minutes of this meeting? It should be approved at your next meeting of that committee. You should just be noting them. It's not for full council to approve minutes of a committee.
Oh, right.
So,
Okay, so that should be
so
noted.
if you've got finance and policy committee, those minutes go to the next finance and policy committee meeting to be approved. You can note them here, but you don't approve them.
Well, technically we do both, which is seems to always thought was a bit odd.
Just be noting.
What about these resolutions in there to say we've proposed the resolutions to the full council, and if we accept the minutes, we
So
then...
what I would do, if I was the clerk, I would be bringing that as a separate item on the agenda to say this has been raised for ratification at
Thank
this
you.
meeting.
Okay.
Because it's the committee it's the minutes of that.
Okay, but there aren't any recommendations in this. Resolved items are things that have been cited in committee, so they,
Yeah, so that's fine, so you've
yeah,
noted them.
but if there's a recommendation, that should be a separate agenda
so if
item
you've got
under
your
the
terms
minutes of
of
finance
reference-
and policy.
Yeah, so if you've got your terms of reference for your committees, it'll tell you what you're allowed to do and agree, and then you'd bring it back for council to know what's happened.
Right. Thank you.
Cool.
And same with the other one,
Any
Anthony?
committees, yeah.
Yes,
Well,
there's a proposer and seconder to, well, not accept them, but
Just note them. You
just
don't
note,
have to-
well, we noted them, there we are. So, all noted then, nothing else to report.
Thank you very much. 239.23, the action log to receive an update on the progress. Can I have you say the feelings of this?
Yeah, sure. So, Kate circulated a draft updated document for everybody. We've gone through, we've stripped out lots of old stuff that we think had been completed or was no longer relevant, and I've been trying to update it as I've been to meetings to make sure that we're reflecting everything. And I think what I probably noted most was kind of the little things that come up in conversation that are not a resolution, but you know, we've agreed to do something and it may not have been, it's not necessarily in the minutes, and therefore it was getting forgotten. So I've tried to add those things in. So I think we just need to go through it again, do another kind of sift of stuff that has been done. The biggest thing the problem that I found with it was that it was kind of saying the action was to write a letter, but you don't know what you were writing the letter about. So we don't know what, you know, the decision, I think, so what I've added in is the decision was this, and the action to be taken was that. So it's clear when we review it what we were trying to achieve and the steps we're trying to take to get there. Then we can kind of keep an eye on the steps to make sure something is moving. But that kind of causes a bit of an issue if the action log is then put on the website for residents to see, because there's bits in there that will be in the excluded part. So we just need to think about who is the audience for the action log.
I also think it's important that, I mentioned before about getting calendars in, so that we're not realising, for example, that we're missing dates, deadlines, you know, leases aren't being checked at the right times, that sort of thing. We need to get that in place. Otherwise, as soon as I or someone from this council leaves, all the knowledge that goes with them goes at the same time. So obviously if we have a situation like that happening, an action log's great, but without the calendar to go with it, it's kind of half a job.
I think the calendar should complement the action log.
Absolutely.
And where there's a date for something to happen on the action log, it's just a central calendar for the parish council with meeting dates and deadline dates for things. And you know, like I say, when we're expecting something to happen on the action log, it goes on the calendar to then make it easier for the clerk to kind of say, okay, I need to review this ahead of the next meeting.
Absolutely.
So I don't kind of, maybe calendar needs to go on another.
I'm going to ask for an agenda item.
Yeah.
It's a very heavy agenda on this one, so I didn't ask for this meeting. And obviously we don't have a full-time clerk either.
No. So there's quite a few things on there, sorry Kate, that I think we need your input in, you know, kind of, I just don't know, it's not clear from the action log what the action was to know if something has happened. So if you could have a look through that, that'd be really helpful. Then I'll try to, but it's based to be an online document rather than printed out, because you can filter it, and I've combined, instead of having different action logs for different committees, I put them all in one document so that you're not looking through different documents and we can just filter it.
You say it's more like a portal,
so everything should be in
That's
there.
just an Excel,
Yeah.
it's an Excel spreadsheet, but yeah.
You could call it a living document.
Yeah, like,
But I think-
Would you like it printed, one copy printed out and we bring it to this meeting each month, or what should we do? Because it's very big, it's
You just put it
difficult
online,
to-
Yeah.
I adjust it so I can get it onto two pages, I separate it between
Yeah.
E&A and full council.
But I think we were talking, so one of the items actually on the agenda, on the action log, is to create a councillor section of the website. So that would be a great place to put the action log, would be in the councillor section of the website when that gets done,
And as it gets updated, it just,
yeah.
Yeah.
So at the minute, it's still work in progress, but getting there.
Would it help to print it out though, to bring it to the meeting next, for those people who
Can
can't
do,
see it?
yeah.
So I'll ask Kate to print it
Okay.
out.
yeah, I got it so it's all on 2 pages. Now, you might need a magnifying glass to read it. But, you know, by
Okay.
manipulation, whatever.
Thanks very much. Thank you, Lindsay. SC 240.23 food trucks.
Well, that's me as well, I
This
guess.
is you again.
So, just something that happened since this was written. We were asked by the South Cams licensing department to have a call with them this week. And we didn't know what the call was about, we didn't know what had prompted it, but it was actually to let us know that they were really happy with what we were doing. Which kind of,
that's a good statement.
and why had we gone out and done it ourselves and not gone through the council to ask the council to arrange the food truck? So, because I didn't know we could. It was as good a reason as any. But they would encourage us to have more food trucks. They'd encourage us to have 2 at a time. And like I said, I don't think that's right, because you've got to, you know, you can only buy one takeaway, right? You kind of, so you've got to think about balancing a food truck needing to make money and, you know, with what residents want. And we've got enough variety coming in with different trucks. The only thing, they have said that there is, they don't like the idea of generators, particularly they prefer people to plug into electricity. And I said, we don't have electricity available. Is there any funding to help, you know, is there a green fund or anything that would help us run electricity supply? And they said there is a prosperity fund that might be able to help next year with something. They only know one food truck with solar panels, but you know, because they're really expensive to put on their trucks. So anyway, so the feedback from them was really positive. They were really happy. They sent me a list of other food trucks that we could use if we want to. People don't need to be licensed in, because it's not a regular thing. They're just coming every now and then. They do not need to have a license, but the council would prefer them to be licensed in every local authority that they go to, which of course means a licence fee in every authority. So I think we've got to say people have to be registered and licensed, but only in a single authority. So I don't think we kind of can dictate to people.
No, I mean, if they're licensed in St Neots, or they're licensed in South Cams, or they're licensed in Cambridge City, then obviously they've already gone through the hoops that are required to do that.
Yeah. So then we found out the motivation for the conversation had come from the community market wanting to have the chap in the village that sells beer, and they couldn't work their heads around the food truck policy and how he would fit into that. And I was trying really hard to explain 2 different things with nothing to do with that. This is a parish council thing, and that's somebody else's thing. But that's where it had come from. So we found that out. Anyway, so back to this. Obviously, the food truck was a trial, and I would like to propose that we kind of remove the trial and we kind of say it's a good thing for the village. We've had nothing but positive feedback about it. People are enjoying it. Food trucks are really pleased. We've got food trucks now that are approaching us to say, can we come? So people who originally turned us down are now kind of asking if they can come, and I'm like, yeah, if I've got space, I'll think about it. So that's kind of, I think that's working. So I'd like to make it a permanent thing on an ongoing basis, and I'd also like us to think about adding in a Thursday night, because it's, you know, if everybody's thinking it's a great success, Thursday night we would probably get more people as they finish work. It would give us more flexibility. Some trucks like coming so much they want a regular slot, and then that's meaning we can't have as many slots to get as much variety. So having a Thursday evening would give us more variety and of course more income. So that's one thing to ask for a
Can, I,
Thursday.
can we just have comments from everybody? Yes, Anthony.
Yes, of course. Firstly, I'm fully in support of Lindsay's proposal. I think it's a very good one. We've had practically zero antisocial issues in regards to this since it came on. Residents have been very positive with the food trucks that have been there, and their compliance with the street trading policy as is has been very high. With no complaints lodged to the Parish Council to my knowledge, unless something's come in today that I'm unaware of. So that's obviously very encouraging. Obviously I've worked on the street trading and the community policies which are coming up next to alter them. But again, I fully support the idea and I think we should review it in 6 months. So I would say 6 months and then review.
Are you is that an,
That's a proposal, yes.
is that an amendment to her proposal?
Wait, have you proposed?
Well, so we have a Thursday in, so do you want to,
Add a Thursday in, yes, as you said. Give the £50 to the resident, as you said in
we
here.
haven't talked about that bit yet though.
Oh, okay. We'll just do that bit then. We'll do that.
No,
Can we
Hang on.
just, everybody comment on this?
I mean, Lindsay's gone through, she's explaining stuff that's already in the paper.
Mhm.
And the thing is, if you read the instructions on the left-hand side, it says to resolve to move, not consider. I just feel that we ought to have less consideration and more action, which says, are we gonna do this or not do this? And then we go around table, yes or no, and vote, and we get on with it. Otherwise,
I know, Jeff, but it is a new subject for us, and it is.
But it's all
people
here.
might like to say something on it, so I know what you're saying.
well, everybody has a chance to comment. Do you accept that resolution or not? Yes or no? And they can give their opinions, and we go around the table and we vote on it.
I agree with Jeff that
We don't have to agree, we don't have to comment and say this is a great idea and so forth and so on. We already know that. Do you support it or don't you support it? Otherwise, we'll be dragged into here for another half hour.
I agree with Jeff that this form needs altering. There should be something at the end of this form.
I don't
Or
think
somewhere.
it needs altering, it's fine as it is.
Well,
I think
see
it
the
does.
wording here in the first thing, to resolve to whatever. There's no word for consideration, there's no words of agree. The instructions are clear, how to express it, and it should be, I resolve that we accept this policy.
All right, has anybody else got a comment that they would like to make before I ask Lindsay?
Just one question. Do we think we've got the demand for a Thursday? Is there demand? Do we know that there's demand there, sort of thing?
I think it maybe a different audience on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be up to the food trucks to
Sure.
kind of, if they don't do enough trade, they won't
Yeah.
come a second time.
No, that's fair.
So we can try
Yeah, you
it
can
on
try
a
it.
Thursday,
No,
can't we?
I just wondered if
Yeah.
people have asked you or something.
Yeah.
Say, could we have it on a Thursday?
So the one thing we kind of identified is that some food trucks are happy doing £300 in a night. Some food trucks want to do £1,500,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
the one that wants to do £1,500 has done £1,500 in a night in Barville.
Really?
Could I ask Lindsay why they don't want generators?
Environmental.
Environmental, I imagine.
Okay, but how could we put any?
But we don't have any alternative. Lots of villages don't have electricity.
No.
The thing is, you could do like the Christmas lights, you could put a fixture into a lamp pole, since we own the lamp poles,
We do.
on Viking Way. I'm not sure if there's one right where they park
No,
the
there
trucks.
But what the market does for Wisbeach, I'm not familiar with other areas, but my father was a market trader, is they have pop-up one. Goes in the ground, it's got a little key on it, they open it up, go plug in.
You've still got to provide a feed-in cost.
We do, but we already have the feeding cost for the lights. Perhaps we could just put it on the
Anyway,
back
that
of
was
that.
just my
Yeah, that's
question.
it,
I'm
yeah.
now going
Yeah.
back to Lindsay
Yes.
The generator ones.
about the proposal.
Okay. So there is a resident that helps with the social media side because I can't do it. And at the time, Clark didn't have time to do it. And I think she does spend quite a lot of time. She does a really good job on that. And I would just like to acknowledge our gratitude to her by this time of year, kind of just a £50 gift card, just as a thank you from us for the help that she's given to us. It does bring income into the. It's not an expense to the Parish Council. It could be funded out of the food truck income. So
Is that a separate resolution, separate proposal?
yes.
Shall we go with the first one then? You're proposing that we make this a permanent
A permanent thing with a Thursday fixture.
with a Thursday fixture.
Yeah.
To be reviewed in 6 months?
We review after 6 months and with
That would be fine.
yeah.
Is everybody in agreement?
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I have a proposer, a seconder?
Well, second, but I can't propose.
And Anthony's seconding. And now you're going to propose something else.
Okay, so then are you happy to pay a £50 gift card?
I'm seeing a facial things from our temporary clerk. Is there an issue you're concerned about?
General power of competence or a chairman's allowance in the budget to do that?
Yes.
You have chairman's allowance.
Well, no, not, but I can agree something.
What about the
You
S10
can't
something,
give
no,
anything to
S137? Can we do it under that?
I don't think so.
Community amenities,
We can send a thank you card.
there is a
So
section.
get out the
in there.
Bible.
What it's there for.
Yeah.
Not from S137?
Don't think so.
Don't we have a community amenities budget?
We do have a community budget, but I'm not sure if this.
Is the food truck income that they pay us pitch fee, is that not kind of discretion we spend? And we could take it out of discretion we spend?
That's where it would have to
That's
come
where it
from
comes from.
anyway.
That's where I put it.
Yeah.
Yes, if
It's an
not,
expenditure against the food truck.
if not, we are having our preset meeting next month. We could definitely.
To one individual, which you shouldn't be doing.
Sorry?
You can't give something money to one individual.
What about
Can
something?
we not just send a thank you card?
Okay, let's not, if we can't do it, we can't do
Maybe we'll
it.
just send, we'll send a thank
It's
you.
fine. And then the last thing is, we need to decide whether we, I've been putting something in the Bar Hill News each month, and the editor of Bar Hill News has asked if Parish Council would consider making that a paid advert on a monthly basis, because of, I've been putting words in saying don't leave your litter and things like. I think if we just leave the dates of who's coming when, it's fine. But if we want to put words, we need to take out an advert, which is going to cost, I think, around £33 a month. So it's whether we want to spend £33 a month to take out an advert, or we'll just rely on social media.
Will the editor not allow you to put that in then each month?
So I'm not the editor. The editor is,
Have you asked him?
well, the editor is
Well,
in
let's
the room.
ask the editor.
Could we
When-
suspend the meeting for a
we'll
moment
send-
then? Could
No,
I ask you a question?
to me, it just was a bit of a conflict that we're paying £35 a month for an advert, and then another agenda item is the organisation who's going to receive that money asking the Parish Council for a contribution to a Christmas tree. It kind of feels a little bit paying twice.
No, there's, sorry,
Because income from the Bar and News adverts goes to the Community Association,
yes.
who, and I've seen on one of the pieces of paper, they're kind of asking for £1,000 for a Christmas tree.
And
The
that's
next
changed,
year-
that has all changed.
Oh, okay,
Amazing.
sorry, okay.
Okay, so first of all, because it's talking about a donation, we have to declare the interest again, because obviously, again, the same people who run the community association, if a donation goes forward, would technically benefit from it. So I'll declare that now again to the clerk, and you've got the declarations from last time, just copy and paste. But again, I'm.
What donation? So we're talking about an advert now?
Yeah, if Lindsay's asking for money to go to the Bar Hill Community Association, whether we classify it as a donation or whether we classify it as a payment, it's still money that benefits a charity we are trustees of. You and I. So we have to declare an interest
Right, okay.
at this point because it's been brought up in discussion.
Okay, sure, if this is just too difficult conversation, what I'm going to say is, we won't put anything in the Bar Hill News going forward, we won't be paying for an advert, we'll put a poster up in the village notice.
You are withdrawing your proposal.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good.
Thank you very much, Lindsay.
Sorted, thank you.
Okay. 241.23, street trading policy.
Oh, that's me, isn't it? Okay, so I have made two policies. The first one is the ordinary street trading policy, which essentially is the same as before, except I have changed it to meet the new requirements of the fact that we're no longer going to be a temporary or a testing event anymore. Do we have both policies in order? Yeah, that's fine, we do have both. The street trading policy.
What's the resolution, to accept it?
Yes, my resolution is to accept it.
Does it need amending to add a Thursday?
Yes. Does it have a Thursday on there? Let me double check.
It probably didn't have.
I don't remember seeing it, or I would have added it, but I may have made a mistake. It does happen. No, I don't think it does have particular days on that.
Okay, that's
Is it up
fine
to 2 days a week? So we should just change it to 3 days a
then.
week.
Yeah,
So amend to 3 days a week, and accept policy for the street trading.
With amendment of,
Yes, and for the community street trading policy, the reason I had to write this one up was twofold. One, the what is it on a Monday where they meet? The community hub. They couldn't make hide nor tail of our current policy because it makes no sense to them. So I made one specifically for community events so that they wouldn't have to get confused about the stuff that's not relevant to them. So again, it's identical. The only difference is I've changed it to pre-approved community events instead of 2 days a week, or now 3 days a week. And also, while I have left in the fees section at the bottom, my recommendation is that we don't charge any street trading fees. But I left it in case councillors disagree with me on that point. But as the organisations are either going to be charities or they will be community entities, I don't see the point in charging for that.
the resolution is to accept the report with the amendment that we take out the fee charge.
Yes, and that is my proposal for the second one. Do I have a second? Yes.
Yeah, I would agree personally. Anybody against it?
The working documents, we can always.
So you're proposing, Anthony, and Jeff's seconding it.
With the
Everybody's in
amendment, yeah.
agreement? Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, it's going to be me again, isn't it?
Yeah, my goodness.
Yes.
Another epistle.
Yes. So obviously I'm declaring an interest on this one, which was obviously mentioned previously.
But someone's done it right, that's what I like.
Thank you.
Oh, there.
Thank you, yes. I anticipated the needs of the Parish Council before they knew they needed them. The only issue is that our actual litter picking policy on the risk assessment here, we will follow the Barhoe Community Association will follow it, but our one is from 2018, so I'm going to put on finance and policy that we adopt the 2022 version that's on the website, but that will just go on for a separate meeting. Everything else is just as it is on here.
Yeah.
In that was the request for match funding as well, not this year, but to be put in the precept for next year.
Yes.
Is that part of the resolution then?
I'm going to do it in two parts, if that's okay.
So two separate
Yes, the
resolutions?
first part is to grant the request to hold the event, and the second part is for match funding.
For next year.
Yes, so I'll start with I would presume the easy one, which is the event itself. I will obviously propose that one.
I'll second it.
So can I ask a question?
Of course.
So in here you're referring to food trucks. So is that a different time for the food truck? Because I booked one now for the 25th, thinking that the event was cancelled. So am I cancelling the one that I've got booked for the 25th, or are you bringing in two
That's
different
in the
ones?
evening, and
This is the daytime, 3
Okay,
PM,
that's
so they
fine.
shouldn't be overlapping.
Right, okay, that's fine then.
And also, I did reach out to the food truck team on the Facebook page. I don't know if I talked to you. I don't know who monitors that or who manages it.
Kirsty.
Well, I spoke to Kirsty and informed her that this was
Okay.
going ahead.
All right.
So I told her the same day that I was aware to avoid the conflict, and she was happy. And also, she said if we couldn't get 2 food trucks, she's got a list of people who would love to do it.
Yeah, okay,
That
that's
was it,
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
But either way, I spoke to somebody on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So proposed and second.
I'll propose.
Okay, Bunty and Jeff.
What's the actual proposal?
That we that the request to use the village open space by the Barhoe Community Association is granted.
with trucks and all that.
Trees.
Yes.
Lights.
The second one is about match funding. Now, the thing about match funding is if we, as the Barhoe Community Association, don't make £1,000 separately from the Parish Council requested donation, the Parish Council don't give a penny, which is why it's specifically match funded. Now, I genuinely believe we will be able to raise £1,000 from other sources in the Parish Council, but my request for £1,000 is such because I think it represents approximately 1/3 of the cost of the event. It's an incredibly popular event with the village, and I don't think we would be able to get £3,000 from 2 businesses next year. We've been very fortunate. This event was going to be cancelled, but then was brought back at the last minute thanks to 2 donations from local businesses that are entering the community.
But also, we could use the money from the food truck money.
Yes, I agree. I
That
think
would be a good use of that.
For a
It's going back
community
into
event.
the community, isn't it? Yes, Jeff.
Well, this has to be budgeted because it's supposed to be put into the precept. I was gonna ask
Well, it will
Well,
be.
10,000 for community and
Where, yeah, where would we stick it?
the 10,000 for community.
Oh, so
Yeah, community support, yeah,
it would come out of that.
yes.
But we can talk
Funnily
about
enough,
that.
in my working papers, I've got £1,000 for Christmas.
Which is wonderful.
Next year.
Oh, well, I didn't even know that was in there, so
No, you wouldn't
1,000
know,
for
it's in my
Christmas.
working papers.
So we can talk about that at the preset meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excellent.
So do I have to propose it, don't I, to,
That would go into the precept.
Well,
Yeah.
it's something that will be talked about at the preset, won't it?
Part of the community support.
It's not-
so, yeah, so we defer it then to the preset meeting, is what you're
Yes,
saying?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So are you finished with that now?
Oh, very much so, thank you very much.
Thank you. 243.23, we've got roadside weed management policy. If you must have all heard about this,
Yeah, who's gonna answer that?
Cambridge County Council, and not doing weeds.
They're asking questions, so someone's gonna answer it.
Does
Yeah.
anybody want to, it's a bit late, isn't it, 20th of October?
20th of
That's
October,
tomorrow.
Yes. We haven't had any emails from residents complaining about this issue either, which I'm
Oh,
quite
we
surprised
have,
about.
we have.
on-
We have?
on
Oh,
the
yes,
house, yeah.
yes,
Oh, well,
there's
just-
a lot of complaints.
Well, why don't we just forward on the email complaints we've had then and just leave it at that?
They're saying roadside, but we're talking about the paths, so.
Well, I suppose so, but it's all part of a wider issue on what
But
about it.
yes, generally it is a nuisance. And do we ask our ranger to go around with weed killer and do it ourselves?
I think we asked them to bring out
They're not going to. It's
the
fun.
road sweeper.
The road sweeper?
That's no good.
That's
So
district council, not county. So it's county council that stop the weed killing, but it's district council that does the road sweeping.
Yeah.
And they just go back
That's
and
what I'm saying,
upside
they-
up and down a road anyway. They don't.
If it does with out those weeds and curbs, people complain about.
Their cars are in the plate.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
wrong
cars,
place.
yeah.
You've got to really do it manually. Yes, Jeff.
I would suggest that we put this into E&A as to whether we're gonna do it with chemical or what we're gonna do about it. A very
Good idea.
appropriate place to put it.
Probably yes.
And I don't think we can answer the survey in one day.
Yeah. That's a fact.
We'll defer that to E&A. Polling district review 244.23.
It's another one someone has to
I
answer.
think that's more to be noted.
Well, aren't they taking a survey asking for your input on your polling places and stuff like that?
Well, it is disabled accessible, but it's on the ground floor, so that's the only answer we can give on it.
Okay, so there's no request to do it, it's just if we want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's on the second floor or something, yes, I'd say that lift is always getting broken, but ground floor is fine.
So you go, you're all welcome to that.
Right, note and file on that one then, Bundy?
No, we will bring that to.
Hollis?
Yeah, we've got a meeting in November. It's open until the 27th of November. Can you all have a look on that website and bring something to the meeting on the 16th of November, please? Okay. 245.23. I've given you the update on the post
Yeah.
office. There's nothing
Yeah.
happening at the moment. It's just waiting for the whole thing to go through. So there really isn't anything now. 246.23 Arcadis report. Have you got that? You've got that report from.
This thing about, they're asking, going back to the poll, they're asking to share our comments, either we don't or we do. And again, it's probably E&A that should do it, yes. Both in the church, it's accessible, or no comment at
So
all.
we go with limited options, don't we, as to where else they can.
Well, they're just asking for a review, so do we review or don't we review?
Is there any problems with it at present?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I was going to say it's
It's got a car
wheelchair
park there,
access,
it's got
car
wheelchair
park,
access.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just a no-brainer, it's not gonna go anywhere else.
And the floor's been fixed.
Yeah.
Does everybody know what the Arcadis report was? Have you all read
No.
it?
No,
It was
I'm
circulated
drawing a
to
blank.
everybody.
It was about,
It was circulated to everybody
It was.
and about the meeting yesterday.
I don't disagree, I'm just drawing a blank. There's,
it's about 15 pages, was it? Quite a lot,
Yes,
wasn't it? It
yeah.
was quite in depth about the action, or rather what should go on in regard to the flood of 2014.
Oh, right, okay, that was,
Right, I'll just read you these notes. It was agreed by all that it was disappointing that the general conclusions and recommendations from the report, options 1 to 4, were classed as having low benefits. Hill Parish Council would argue that there are 2 areas in which further works are needed and funding should be made available. One is Robin Close, for those of you
Yeah.
that were
Yeah,
here in
absolutely.
2014, Gladeside and Saxon Way, risk of flooding. Dam Brook, which is also Oakington Brook, and although not directly referred to in the report, this is a major area of importance and concern within the villages, within the village. Houses in Fox Hollow, Watermead, Brookdale and Apple Trees have the added risk of subsidence caused by movement. Do you all know the banks of the
Yeah.
stream,
Do
how
now.
it's slipping? All
Yeah, no, you
slipping.
can see it, I mean, my house backs onto it.
Yes, I know.
It's bloody awful.
But you can still walk past your.
No, we can, absolutely, but you can see it all, you can see where the drains are, where the earth used to be around them, those concrete drains that come out, now they're just, the
I
earth's
know,
coming back.
Greg's got
it's,
the most amazing pictures. But this was about £10,000 that the Environment Agency had kept for us. And we knew about it, and we've been waiting to talk about it with Brian Heffernan and from Cambridge County Council and all of that. And so what we decided to do, that we would meet with Fen Group, who have done the shoring up of the banks before, and we're meeting with him next Tuesday, and anybody's welcome to come along, and ask for his opinion on what to do, because we need to spend that 10,000. We've got money that we've got to spend as a parish council anyway, which is as well as that 10,000 to shore up that.
Yeah.
So that is what the meeting was about.
I take it when you talk about shoring up funds, you're talking about the work that's done further down near
Yes, yeah.
the beginning of Apple Trees,
Yes,
and
it's
back
not
onto
been done
Field
in-
View,
in
yeah,
your
so
bit,
you've got all
no.
that caging and stones and everything, yeah.
Yeah, that's that, and there's a bit further up in Holly Tree.
Yeah, that's right, I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah, so this is what this is all about, the Arcadis report and getting all this work done. So we're meeting with Fen Group, and then we will refer it back to, we'll get a report back to Brian Heffernan, and we will then he'll put it forward, and we'll hopefully get the 10,000, and then we'll know what to spend it on, together with money that's in our own budget.
Yeah.
We have got a budget for the stream for already.
Okay.
Yes, Jeff.
is Brian going to recommend what needs to be done, so we
Yes.
can cost it out,
Yes.
right, okay.
We will send the report to him, and then they'll work it so that it reads the correct way, so that we can get the money.
Okay.
And that has been promised to us for years, hasn't it? So we've been a long time
Yeah, that sounds
waiting
good.
for that. So we're meeting with Fen Group next Tuesday to talk about the stream. Is it next Tuesday? Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah. And then we'll go from there with finishing up the report.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
So we'll bring you any updates on that.
Thank you.
So oh yes, sorry,
So
Warren.
what time is the meeting?
2 o'clock.
I'm free.
Pardon?
I'm free. I can run it.
Good. That'd be excellent.
Yeah, where are you meeting, here?
No, at the stream, at the Watermead end.
One meeting, okay. I'll try to get back to you
Yeah.
for that.
But also, you know, if you don't know the stream, please do go and have a look at it.
Oh, okay.
What's that information sheet in the scoop? Yeah, the meeting.
Thank you to everybody all our visitors who have been to the meeting. We're now going to exclude you.